parent company is CAD Center. So under CAD Center has its wings, which will cover Synergy, which is a school of business schools, business skills, which talks about project management, which talks about tracking, scheduling, and all this thing. Next comes the Livewire for live careers, which is purely about electrical and electronics engineering. Then we have Dream Zone, which is a school of creative studies. Then we have Naturals, which is a school of fashion and, sorry, not fashion, it's about, what do you say, grooming training academy. So keeping these five, okay, we have many partners, industrial partners. So number one, any company you take, let's say software company, right now you're using AutoCAD, Revit, or any Bentley MicroStation software or context capture software, anything you take, we are partnership with them. So with their feedbacks, we devise our own curriculum and we train our students. Now what we do is we bridge the gap between the student and the industry. Now right now everybody will be having the same feeling. I finished my degree. Now I go to the work. Now the work environment is completely different. The work environment is completely different. And a fresher cannot be ready for the industrial work. He's completely into theoretical part and he cannot understand how we do it practically. So the first thing we do is our training aim is to equip him so that he's ready to go and work, which we put it in short saying as industry ready. Second thing is, in order to do that, we have our courseware development team who is working on a day-to-day syllabus, getting the feedback from the industry, what are the expectations from the students, freshers whom they have, and the professionals, if they're recruiting a professional, what knowledge they want. So we have our own hands-on profiles and giving them all the exercises to work on. Now, how we usually do it is we conduct workshops and seminars. Right now, we are not able to conduct seminars throughout all the places because of this COVID-19 pandemic. But right now, we are doing it as a webinar. We constantly get in touch with universities, institutions, government places, and all this thing. Through that, we connect with everybody. The next part is, okay, we have grown so far. What is the authorization we get and what is the recognition we got? Okay, there are many, there are plenty. I cannot finish it up in one or two slides. Okay, so what happens is we are awarded with different what is it, categories, and we are recognized as one of the largest training institute, and we partnered up with MSME, micro, small, mini enterprises. So what happens here is, like, any entrepreneurs who would like to become a part of us will also be recognized by these companies. Okay, let me just skip this one because we have lots of awards, and as I told, I cannot put it everything in one slide. Okay, now something to learn for all. When you come to CAD, no matter whom you talk to or what you do, all the professionals will have something to learn from us. Okay, either you take it in the architectural field, either you take it in the civil field, mechanical, electrical, electronics, project management. No. Now, when we talk about BIM, what I'm trying to say is, when we talk about BIM, in a construction industry, I don't work only with structures. I also work with mechanical engineers who works on the AC ducts. I also work with plumbers. I also work with sprinkler system. I also work with people who works in sensors, electrical, electronics. Okay, and I also work with project managers. I work with architects. I work with civil engineers. I work with everybody. So we are a place where everybody can learn. These are some of the domains in which, apart from CAD, Dream Zone, Liveware, and Synergy. So these are things we do. Dream Zone is a school of fashion designing and interior designing. Liveware for electrical, and Synergy for project management school. Now, how is our training methodology done? First, training, then we give the practical work, then we assess them. Assess them in the sense, we don't just teach and we say goodbye. What we do is, we will go, we'll talk with them, we will teach them, we'll give them a practical work, and we give an assessment on, okay, yes, he has done the work properly. Now, the slide which you're seeing right now, the picture which you see is a training on ArcGIS software. Some of you might have heard of it. This training this training was handled by one of our technical experts. The training was done in Malaysia. These are all Libyans. So what happens is, we do workshops, we do seminars and contests, and we connect with all the age categories of people. It's not only for students or school kids or professionals. We go from 6 to 60. I'm sorry, 16 to 60. Okay. Now, this is the recognition we give to our professionals and entrepreneurs, saying that, let's say, for example, you have done a course with us, the sample certificate which you receive will be looking like this. So the best part in this certification is, first part is, you'll have a unique QR code where the moment you scan it, it will show you online saying that this particular person has done this so and so and so, and it will have everything, all the details. The first part of the certificate says your name and what course you have completed, and second part is the best one, because when I am in a recruitment panel board, what I want to know is, I know that this guy has studied AutoCAD, but in AutoCAD, what are all the skills does he have? Is he good in designing, or is he good in draftsmanship, or is he good in layouts and printouts and all this thing? Okay. So for that, what we will do is, the second slide of the certificate talks to us more. And next, our course material. Now, when I say world-class course material, people will ask me, how do you say it is world-class? Course material in the sense, I'll show you. So these are the courseware we provide. Okay. For now, it is displaying Revit architecture, CATIA, and AutoCAD 2D and other things. But these course materials are world-class, and I'll tell you the reason why. When you take a particular kind of book, okay, let's say, for example, a novel which is written by an Indian author in India, is not suitable in UK, it's not suitable in Africa, it's not suitable in China. But when you take our courseware, when you open the software and you're trying to learn it on your own, it is the same everywhere. That is why we call it as that is what differentiate us from other things. Because some coursewares, if you take, those are pretty much high level, or they are pretty much the very basic. But here, what we did is, we extract only the concentrated works, and we display it for as a learning material. Now, coming into our topic of the day, building information modeling, impact of BIM in the current industry. Now, when to talk about BIM in the academics point of view, the first thing we always try to what do you say, to deliver to our professionals and students is, most of them think that BIM is a software. Right now, they are building it as a software, but BIM is a concept before. Okay. So what it does is, it is about creating and managing informations of the construction project. So any project you take, it has a start date and an end date, any project. So which means you have to plan, you have to design it, build it, operate it, and there's one more part last, close it off. Okay. Now, in between these, there are lots of lags and delays happening. In order to avoid those, what we do is, we'll extract the information first itself and we'll keep it. Okay. So let's say, for example, over here, let me just point out some things for you. We have a chat. Fine. Now, sure, Hari can take care of that. Now, what's happening over here is, see, I have a plan. I have a plan in this. Now, what happens? I am making my plan into a design. Okay. Design in the sense that you can make it a 3D, or you're working on the information and all this thing. Now, let's say for all these thing, I'm converting it into a construction project. Okay, I'm trying to construct it. Now, what happens? Let's say, for example, I am delivering it to the site. Okay, in the site, I will have a lot of people. They will not understand what I'm trying to do over here. In the sense, I'm having a plan stating that start the plan from this plot. Okay, then use a total station and measure it from here to here. Then plot the cycle. Then start the excavation process and the backfilling process. Now, when I say that, I want everything in detail. Who is the person to do the excavation process, and who is the person to build it? Okay, who is the contractor? Okay, it'll answer all the who question which you have. Okay, who, and it'll also have everything to precise. Okay, precise values in the sense, it'll tell who's the contractor for this particular work and how much is he being paid and what are the resources he needs and everything. Okay, there's no audio to the presentation. Hari, can you please check? Somebody is saying that there's no audio to the presentation. Okay, so the next thing is, now in BIM there are different categories. Okay, some people say that what is BIM? Some people say that BIM is informations of all the uh, building values. When it comes over here, initially what happens, first you have a design in your mind. Okay, first you have a design in your mind, then you make it into a 2D format, then you change the 2D into a 3D. So this is where your model talks. Okay, instead of your AutoCAD 2D plan, your 3D model talks to people. Then from there, what happened, we started giving more information. In order to construct this 3D model, what are all the schedules I have to do? Okay, how long will it take? When will it start? When will it end? And who is the person in charge of all this thing? Then comes how the total estimation of the project. How much should I pay to whom? And what will be my revenue? What will be my share of work and all this thing? And next comes the sustainability, 60. So cost, everything is done. So what happens over here is, uh, yes, I have done my scheduling and I have done my estimation, cost and everything is done. Sustainability is a question where, just a minute, guys. Okay, super. Thank you, Dalex Institute. So sustainability is a question where, okay, let's say for example, right now my project is around 25 million. Okay, 25 million USD. Now I want to know whether everything over here is of good quality. Okay, and does it come under the concept of green building concept? We cannot, all the buildings cannot come under green building concept because it is very much tough for the economy to get into that concept right now. Because a green building concept in the sense like you zero wastage of energy in the sense, I want to let's say for example Ghana itself, if you want to construct one particular building in Accra, you cannot bring any material from Tema or some other region. It, all the resources available should be inside Accra. First rule. Second rule, there should not be too many artificial lights. Electricity usage should be less. The wind use, what do you say, it should be more free air flowing. So all these concepts comes under green building. So keeping all these things in mind, keeping sustainability, we design all this thing. At last comes the facility management application, which is the seventh dimension of the BIM. So which talks about the safety. So any building you take in Middle East, they'll say that after a period, over a certain period of time, you have to what do you say, do a renovation, most of the power plants will go through this one. Okay, the power plants will always, they'll shut down for 1 day or 2 days just for renovation work, just to clean up the chimneys, just to clean up the coolant areas, just to clean up the furnace, burning furnaces and everything. So that is the last part. So this is how the building information modeling is being built and kept in a format. Now there is always a question with us saying that, did it stop with 7D or is there anything more? Is there anything called as 8D? Okay, or more than this? I'll tell you people, that is a no. Okay. We were having a conversation within our team itself, because when you go to online, you have a lot of information getting from Google. Some says that it is about 10D, some says it is about, you have like around 11D. Okay. Certain things companies use it for them to build up their own, and there is a recent one called as 12D. Okay, it is not actually 12D, it is their software. Okay, it is a software company which does it. So they call it as BIM 12D. Okay, fine. Moving on to the next part. So in order to gather a complete building information, which I am going to model, what are all the softwares which we as a CAD, Asia's largest training institute, can help and can provide to the professionals. Okay, any construction industry, you take the initial one amount, the initial software which we use is AutoCAD. Everybody knows it. Everybody, even though you're a complete fresher, you don't know anything about the site, even though you are a 20-year or 50-year experienced guy, the basic thing which you require for a guy to construct or for a guy to operate in the site, construction site, is the AutoCAD, because the layman does not understand any other models. I go and share, let's say for example, I go and share a SketchUp model or a 3ds Max model, okay, saying that the a normal cube like this. Okay, so telling him that now this is a north facing, and I'm telling him that this is where the location of my doors or something is going to come. Over here, what happens is he does not understand. He will never understand. What he wants is a 2D plan like this, stating that this is where the door is going to come and the length of the door is this much. Okay, so that is where the basic starts with AutoCAD. Next, now what happened? People have slowly shifted from AutoCAD to another particular part called as the Revit architecture. In Revit architecture, what happens is the starting of the conceptual design itself starts with the 3D model. So from the 3D model, what happens is they have started the, from this they will extract the 2D drawings. So as a designer, what I'll do is I will make my 3D model. I will also get my 2D drawing from it. Now what I want to do is I want to convince my client saying that this is the best design. Okay, so for that, what I'll do is I'll take them into 3ds Max. I'll make a perfect model using V-Ray. I will render them and I will get a photorealistic image and I will get the job done. I will convince my client. My clients will say, okay, I like the project, please go ahead. Next question comes to them saying that, what about the analysis and how is it going to be executed and what is the estimation and cost and all. So what I'll do is once the design is being approved, then what I'll do, I'll take it into another software domain called as Revit Structure, and there is one more thing called as StatPro. So these go side by side. Okay, these go side by side. Revit Structure is a Autodesk platform and StatPro is a Bentley platform. Bentley platform is mostly, I think, in Ghana it is, yes, it is Bentley. Okay, you can go with StatPro, and it depends on different markets. When I was in Malaysia, the software which they use for analysis is something called as Procon. Excuse me, guys. Beautiful, very nice. So in Malaysia, they use a software called as Procon, okay, for structural design, and there are different softwares. So say once I've analyzed the software, what I will do is now I have to do a what do you say? BIM coordination. Okay, so what happens is I want to do some clash detections. Clash detection in the sense, in the plan, my particular plumbing guy would have said that my plumbing line is going to come here, and my sprinkler system person also will say that their sprinkler system is going to come in this place. So what happens is everybody will be working in Revit architecture model, and this architecture model can be combined in this particular platform called as Navisworks. Okay, so in Navisworks, as a project manager, okay, or as a BIM consultant, what I can do is I will look through it, and I can rectify any number of clash detections, any number. I can directly tell them saying that Mr. X and Mr. Y, you will be having a clash detection during the construction process. So please rectify it now itself. See, now what happens? This is the information which I'm talking about. The information from the sprinkler guy is also here, and the information from the duct guy, the AC duct guy, he is also there. So since we have the information, now itself we are avoiding the conflicts. We are avoiding the conflicts through the clash detection process in Navisworks. We schedule them in MS Project or Primavera. We get the whole process done, and when it goes for construction, there will not be any delay. Everybody knows when is their work, and everybody knows who is the person, number of persons required for their work, and they know exactly with the precise dimension where it has to be implemented. Moving on to the next part. Now, people will be having a doubt. Let's say, for example, I was saying about different companies like Autodesk and Bentley. Okay, so I'll just name it over here, Autodesk and Bentley. So what happens over here is, I have AutoCAD software. I say that the conceptual design is done in AutoCAD, and there is always a competing software. In Bentley, you have something called as MicroStation. People ask me, is it just these softwares alone forms the BIM? If I learn these softwares, can I become a BIM expert or consultant? It's not like that. It depends on company to company, country to country, first of all. Okay, each country has their own software. Uses Revit. Some company uses Lumion. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. Okay. Then it keeps on growing. Now here you have StatPro. StatPro is a Bentley program, and Revit Structure is an Autodesk program. Then Navisworks is Autodesk one, and our friend Mr. Festus can and give us even more detailed options on how this particular BIM is being used in the construction industry. So moving on to the next slide. In what aspects BIM is beneficial? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this particular portion also to Mr. Festus. He can clarify you in a much more beneficial way, where with his experience, you can even understand and you can get to know how how it benefits everyone, and how the project can be completed, how a 6 months project can be completed within a 3 month time. A perfectly planned project can be completed, let's say a $10 million project can be completed within a year. Okay. Now I want to show you a small video showing or displaying how the BIM takes place. Everybody will be having it out. Okay, this is software. Okay, in a order, if I want to do a design, I want to learn the software. If I want to do a scheduling, I want to learn this software. Rather than showing you differently, I'm going to show you a complete picturization of how the BIM works. Shall we? You might not be having an audio on this one. Okay. Now, the architect first decides on the conceptual mass which they want to provide on the particular landscape. From there, it goes to the model, conceptual model. So they will create the geometry completely. Once the geometry is completed, see, we will do an energy analysis. What are the structured materials we are going to use and how we are going to increase the light and airflow inside. So from there, as I said, we are moving into structural part. How am I going to make this design sturdy and sustainable? You have to understand this part. As I was saying before, the plumbing guy and the duct and the sprinkler system guys, see, everybody will be working in the same model, and these are the conflicts which you will be facing. Everything will be coming next to next to next. Ah, yes, the most important part is the HVAC. We have to calculate per area, per unit area room. So how much AHU we have to have? AHU in the sense air handling unit. You have to go with every detailed information. See, this is what we call it as a clash detection. Trust me, guys, the fabrication part is the most beautiful in the duct designing. You can design your own duct size and the ways you want. It's completely extraordinary. Now, this is a video which is done by the Autodesk company. I just want to give our team a beautiful info. Okay, so I want to end up my portion by stating that if if you want to choose a career in as a building information modeling person, okay, there are different titles waiting for you. One as the analyst, one as a modeler, one as software developer, one as a consultant, manager, facilitator, and all these things. And the common question which comes to me for, from the professionals and after the presentation is saying that, do I have to learn everything in order to become a BIM consultant or a BIM manager? That's not the case. What happens here is you have to be, everybody have their own what do you say, skills, a set of skills to display, and you will have your own strength to play around with. When I'm talking about strength, for example, myself, I'm a engineer and a interior architect designer. For me, it is purely on let's say BIM modeler and BIM, sorry, and modeling specialist and BIM facilitator. Okay, in the sense I can work on AutoCAD and I can create Revit models, and I can analyze that particular model or design and analyze that model. Then I can work on Navisworks in order to avoid any clash detection. I can create a schedule and estimation for the complete project. But when you ask me, can you do the complete civil structural work? Yes, I can do. But when you're talking about the sprinkler system or any duct and piping systems, HVAC systems, I'm not the expert on that, because those completely comes under a mechanical engineer where they are the experts, and I'll have to work along with them. And when I'm working on a power plant and other places, I'm not talking only about the residential and commercial building. I'm also including the industrial areas. When I'm working in a power plant, I also have to include a word saying that I'll be working mostly with a fluid dynamics engineer. Yes, guys, you heard the name right. I need to know about fluid dynamics. because the amount of coolant or water spray which I use in a particular industry is much immense and more compared to any other places. Okay, so you have your own set of questions right now, I know, but right now what I want to do is I want to carry forward this session. I want to give it to our guest and our speaker, Mr. Festus, and he will be giving you a even more depth knowledge and how this BIM is being implemented in the industry or in the site right now. Because what I was all talking about is only the academics part and how we connect the uh, academics and the industry together. I want you to know directly what is happening in the industry and how we take it forward. So let me invite Mr. Festus. He will take it for you. Take it from here. Hari, is Mr. Festus there?
Hello.
Guys, I am not able to hear anything. I'm a,
Hello, sir. You are welcome, sir. Thank you so much, Karthikeyan, for your wonderful session. Hello, sir. You can over to you, sir. You can start now.
Hello. Mr. Harry, please, am I live?
Hello, sir. You are audible, sir. Welcome to the session, sir. You can start now.
landed it over to you. I don't know. They don't you know how your slide will come and all that. Now, the English translation is big. The other words can come.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know whether you guys are seeing the technology. Hey, I'm new. I'm kind of new to this software, so I'm finding it a little bit. All right. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Kathik, and thank you, Mr. Harry. Please, can you hear me? I can read a comment. Okay, I think I'm live now. So thank you, and I think Mr. Kathik has said a lot about BIM, and I would want to say something little attached to his introduction. So we are already in the world of work with regards to BIM, and I would want to share the little knowledge I know about my field regarding that. So I want to start by introducing myself and then the company I work for. Right. So first is Opoku Kwachin. I'm the general manager for a company called CPB Service in the United Kingdom, and also the general manager for KC Construction and Architecture Limited, which is also in Ghana. I want to say something a little about these companies. CPB Service Limited was established in the year 2008, and we have provided bespoke service to architects, property developers, and homeowners, while KCCH serves as a back office support to CPB Service Limited. So basically, KCCH is responsible for the architectural works after surveys made from the sites in UK. And all these activities wouldn't have been possible if BIM wasn't in existence. So all viewers and listeners, I want to ask this question: what is your next chapter? What is your next chapter as a student, after school? What is your next chapter? And then as a professional, being a professional body, what is your next chapter in the field of work? Now, I chanced by this image on social media where, there is an image of a drone, in 2019, and then back in 2009, we have this cameraman and then an helicopter. So the idea behind this picture means is basically saying that in 10 years, both cameraman and pilot lost their jobs. So upgrade yourself, which is why I think we are all here to listen to the ideas we have and also what we think the future holds when it comes to BIM technology. So you being a professional, most of us, we were still stuck with our style of working, the old style of working. Me as a surveyor and then also a building technologist, I remember back in 2010, we mostly deal with existing buildings, as built drawings. So back in 2010, I remember just in case we have to make a survey and then make out architectural drawings for the existing property, we would go to the site with a tape measure, having all these books, sketch pads, going around the building, moving up and down just to get your sketch. And then in 2019, 2020, we've got technology that has come to, abolish the old style of working. So let's say you are this type, a professional who is still dealing in the old style of working. I bet one, you will be left behind, and then two, no industry in this modern age would want to employ you, because the softwares that are coming nowadays, I bet they are doing wonders. So I think that if you don't upgrade yourself now, in the next future, in the next years to come, you might lose your job. The softwares will come and take over all the works that we were doing manually. So I want to, back in, many years ago, I asked myself this same question. What is the next chapter for me? As a student back then, same question I asked myself, kind of created this panic in me. I made a decision, and then this decision has brought me to where I am today. So today, though we were doing things, manually, but because of the things that we learned, the extra things that we learned regarding BIM, now we are going global. We are working with, companies that are using these softwares that we are yet to be introduced to. So let's do a quick history about BIM. Over the years, BIM in the construction industry has evolved. It's not something new. So back in 1970s, where it was known as the Building Description System, or BDS. And then in 1985, Simon Rathel also introduced building model. And then in 1992, G.A. van Nederveen and F.P. Tolman also published building information model. So you could see that building information modeling, which is the current name, has been in existence for a long time, except that it keeps on evolving. So as you can see on your screen, however, the term building information model and then building information modeling did not become popularly used until, some 10 years later, in 2002, Autodesk released a white paper entitled Building Information Modeling, and other software vendors also started to, assert their involvement in the field of in the field. That's why we've come by all these software. So as I've listed here, I think Mr. Kathik also listed some in his earlier presentation. So we have the Revit, AutoCAD, we have Google SketchUp, we have Bentley, Ecotech, Vectorworks, Rhino, NavyWorks, and all the other softwares that you could think of. And all these are used based on the project nature and then, the kind of work you are doing. So the number of softwares that has been released over the years, and it has had a major impact in the construction industry. The roles of the listed above, I think I should mention them. So BIM has a lot of career opportunities in them, just as I've listed in my presentation. We have the BIM analyst, we have a BIM facilitator, BIM modeler, BIM application developer, we have a BIM software developer, we have BIM consultant, BIM researcher, BIM manager, chief BIM officer, and we have a BIM technician. And I would want to talk about 3 of these listed careers because with regards to my profession and then field of work, these are the 3 aspects of BIM that we measure in. All right, so as I said, the listed here entirely depends on the nature of the project that you are working on. So to be a BIM specialist, you will have to scale up to the expectations of the industry and work on multiple roles as the project needs. So one might ask, before we get to the roles of these careers, especially the 3 that I'll be talking about, one might ask, what does it take to become a BIM specialist? In all the careers in BIM, what does it take to become one? What is the major qualification required? Let's discuss this. Taking BIM Manager, for instance, a BIM manager here is a person who determines the standard and rules of a project, from planning to designing and delivery. And also, he acts as the intermediary between the designers, clients and architects, so that projects remain effective and efficient as well. And the role of a BIM manager is also to, training and then upscaling colleagues in specific software programs. So he might not necessarily know all the softwares, but to become a BIM manager, at least you should know a number of softwares that, just as in my company, all new staffs, all new recruits go through the BIM manager, just to upgrade their skills. Because sometimes you think you know everything until you finally get to the world of work. Then you get to know that you are lacking. So the BIM manager also, oversees and purchases workstations so that the hardware is sufficient and effective for the range of programs installed on the system. Now, this is a very key point. We have a distributor that is in charge of giving us the computers in which we install the softwares on, when it comes to working. Now, if you are not careful, you might you might get yourself a computer that might not be able to stand, the hardware properties. Sorry, the software properties of the main thing that you are about to do. Because sometimes, let me take recap, for example. It requires that a computer should have a RAM at a size of, let's say, 4 gig or 8, and then I think a memory of 16 gig at least. Yeah. So if you get yourself a computer that has less specifications, you will find yourself wanting. So as a BIM manager, you should be able to know all these specifications that is required from the software, just in case just to make sure that your softwares are working correct and then are not lagging when you start using them. A BIM modeler is also someone whose primary role is to develop the model, right? So they are not necessarily a licensed architect or engineers, but they are skilled with BIM, to understand the modeling requirements and how buildings go together to be able to do so accurately, sorry. And then their level of responsibility can also vary widely, between projects and firms. Now, this draws our attention back to where it says they are not necessarily licensed architects or engineers, but they are skilled enough with BIM. All right. So this is where the skills comes in. This is where the question of what is the next chapter comes in. As long as you have the basics and then you understand, drawings, or you understand what the client is trying to explain, you understand the drawings, what the architect is giving to you, you as a modeler, if you have the skills, that comes as a bonus. You can do, at the end of the day, I think your final output will be amazing. So let's also see some of the duties of a BIM modeler. Now, here it says that they use checklists set up for the quality control on each project and submit work according to deadlines. Basically, that is all what a BIM modeler does. Now, to a BIM technician use computer technology to pull all information about a construction project into one design. So a BIM technician, you use CAD, computer-aided design programs to accurately model a project in multiple dimensions, as well as detailing architectural plans, components, materials, and build procedures. You will include information about how the structure will operate and be maintained. It also says that their role is also, to take information from multiple plans and incorporating them into a single computer model, which can be used to build and maintain a structure. Liaising with design teams as well, clients, architects, surveyors, engineers, and then, all the team under the world of construction. The BIM technician also assists the engineers and, senior managers with the drawings and blueprints. He also produces structural models, drawings, and schedule using computer programs and, BIM. And then presenting your design and making amends based on feedback or prototype testing. I think over here we do that kind of thing a lot. After we've delivered projects to clients, obviously we expect a feedback, whether good or bad, we expect it. And then let's say the feedback, is a bad one. At the end of the day, we only have to get back to the project and then amend everything that we have to, do. So the model technicians, they are responsible for that. And designing technical solutions for buildings and structures. And then the last but not the least is also ensure that plans are accurate and easy to interpret, working in an office. So as I said, there are lots of careers in BIM, but I have talked about these three, and that is because that is what I measure in my organization. Now, one would also ask, what are the educational requirements to become a BIM specialist? We all know that the minimum requirement is to have, let's say, a diploma in architecture, building technology, civil and structural engineering. Although it is essential, though, but the thing is, this does not guarantee a placement in a top company or, receiving a high salary package, because we all can attest to the fact that what is being taught in our colleges and universities is insufficient. using mine as a testimony, back in the university, we were doing only CAD. I think we were limited to CAD. So I took time out of my busy schedules, you know, going for lectures, moving up and down, to learn other softwares. And then to be specific, the Revit architecture. Revit architecture. I had to pay somebody just to teach me that software. Though we were not having that education in the lecture hall, but as I said, I had to go the extra mile because this question kept haunting me. What is the next chapter after school? I don't know how things look like in your patch of the world, but I know in Ghana, securing a job is very difficult. And then it's always like you have to know somebody before you can secure a job, you know, in a corporate organization. But even if you are not going to look for a job after school, I think having some extra skills, you can sit at the comfort of your home and work as a freelancer. That is if you have these extra skills. So what all the things that is being, you know, taught in school, though they are okay, I mean, it's good to have education, but it's also good to go the extra mile. You understand? So you have to understand, you know, you as a student, you have to identify the means to which these skills that you are going in for can enhance your skills, you know, both technical and non-technical. And not only this, though, just knowing the software is the major thing, but I think as an individual, we also have to add, you know, something for any employer to be interested in, you know, bringing you on board to his institution or organization. So it's also very important that a BIM modeler or specialist, you should have a good quality or, you know, knowledge of friendly areas, and you should be highly positive. You should be passionate and detailed oriented, and must be ready to be in a new environment and accept new challenges. If we would all agree, in the world of construction, I'm not sure that we are limited to one environment. So you should be willing to, you know, be at some part of the world because of the job. And then you should be ready to accept these challenges that always, you know, pops up in the world of construction. Over here in KCCA and CPB service, we have had a number of people from Delex Institute. And if you look at my screen, there is this picture of some alumni sitting in front of their workstation and then undertaking a project. So we've had 5 students, 5 alumni from Delex Institute. And this is why I would recommend Delex Institute from each and every one of you watching us, because that is what I know they are known for. You know, that is what they are best at doing. Go there, get your sets of skills, you know, when it comes to these softwares. So just as I've written here, we've had 5 alumni of Delex Institutes of Technology who are currently working with us at KCCA Limited, and they are very productive, I must admit. Now, back to Mr. Kathik's slide. I think the last part, he also talked about the salaries involved in, you know, being part of the BIM world or being a BIM specialist. Honestly, salary for a BIM professional largely depends on the role he or she is putting into the type of project. So it varies, you understand, it varies. But however, I think it is moderately high earning profession globally. You know, it's better. I know it's better. I know it's better. But we can't specifically say that if you are, let's say, a BIM modeler, this is how much you are going to earn. If you're a BIM manager, if you are a BIM analyst, this is how much you are going to earn. So it depends on the type of project that is being undertaken, where you are working, the type of country, the nature of the country that you are on, and all the other factors that employers, considers before they pay salaries to their workers. So also, we as a company, we measure in 3 different type of softwares. Mr. Kathy earlier, listed a number of softwares, but as I said, I think I'm not supposed to know everything here. I must be honest. So I'm only talking about the softwares that we use, and also just for people to, clear doubts of thinking that even after learning this software, what is in for me? What is the what does the future holds? What's in for the future? So I am already in the field. We are working. We work day in and day out. We are a very busy company, right? So when you come to our organizations, the first software that we use is the AutoCAD architecture, and then in simply put, I've written for our 2-dimensional drawings. I think we all know what AutoCAD architecture is capable of doing. So before any designer, starts to design anything, you have to make your sketch and then bring it into 2D before you get to the 3D aspect of it. So what you are seeing here is basically a topographical survey, in a 2D form. And we are also into building drawing. So basically, we are into building and topographical survey. So the basics of our work starts from the 2D aspects, and then the next software we use is the Revit architecture. That is also for our 3D designs. I think we are all used to these softwares. So if you are a student and then you are learning this software, don't think that this is for just academic purposes. As I said earlier, we are into the world of work, and then this is our daily life. We use this software every day. We use this software every day. And then the last software that we use is the Autodesk ResCap. I only wrote for stitching raw scans, but it's also for viewing existing properties. I remember that, as I said, back in the 2010, I think, we went to a site. That is when I started my career, as a beginner. And then this software wasn't available by then, or even if it was, we didn't have the exposure to use it, you understand? And even here in Ghana, lots of people have seen this software, but they don't know what it's capable of, doing, until I had the chance to work with CPB Savage in the UK. That is where I got to know that the wonders this software could do was just amazing. So it is used for viewing existing property and then for stitching raw scans. Now, I think you might wonder how we go about this. Let me just show you a quick video of how our operations are being carried on, from the site to the office processing, and then the final delivery to the client. So please stay tuned. Right, so this is just a 1-minute video for all what we do in our organization with the help of BIM. All right, so what you see here on your left, from the screen is what we call the laser scanner. We use the Faro type. We take it to site. as I said, we deal with existing buildings. We take it to site and please hold on. Right. So the scanner scans the building. This is only an illustration of how it scans it back. The scanner doesn't scan the building at once, just as you are saying. You know, you have to go to all angles of the building, everywhere necessary that you think you should scan. That is how the scanner works. So this is only a presentation of how the building is being scanned from site. And then the files, we call them the raw data, the original scans. It is being taken back to the office for processing. Now the processing, we stitch it, and then with stitching, I mean, when I talk about stitching, you know, the scans are taken individually. So we bring it to the office, load them on the computer, and then stitch them. I think this is self-explanatory when we talk about stitching, you know, combining the scans just for it to become one unit. You understand? So when you stitch them, you get the full building, just as you see on the screen. So after stitching and then re-getting the full building, this final file is called the RCP file. So we create two files out of it. We have the master file, and then we have the input file. What you are doing depends on the type of file you will be using, you understand? So we have time for using the master file, and then we have the right time for using the input file as well. Now, after we've got our RCP data, it is being inserted into AutoCAD, that is the 2D designing. We insert the RCP file in the AutoCAD, and then we do the 2D aspect of the property that we went to site to scan. And just as you see in the video, this is just a rough sketch of the building in 2D. So then this is where the AutoCAD software comes in. And then from the 2D, we go to the 3D, where we use the Revit architecture. So just as the video is displaying, from 2D to 3D, modeled by the Revit architecture, and also a BIM specialist who is a BIM modeler. So the final results, right. So the final results from a site to the office through to the client is what you've just seen. So now the true future of BIM involves getting more out of the end-to-end use of the model by improving overall communication. This means that increasing the use of models, not only in design, but throughout pre-construction, in the field, during construction, during closeout, and even through facility maintenance. So the future of BIM involves using the model at all stages. You understand? BIM is used everywhere in the design of anything in the construction industry. So just in case you have been wondering what are the future prospects of BIM, I think today we all should count ourselves lucky for being part of today's seminar, because after this, you should be motivated enough to make a good decision. You should be now convinced that if you take an extra skills attached to what you already know, especially from Dulles Institute of Technology, for now, you might think that it was a waste of time, but I bet in the future, you will enjoy spending the little money you used in tuition from Dulles Institute of Technology. You would be enjoying in the future. So BIM has come to stay and will live with us forever. Thank you. All right. So I think I will hand over to Mr. Harry now for him to moderate what is.
Thank you so much. Sure. Thank you so much, sir. It was an eye-opener. It was a wonderful session. We learned a lot of things.
Right.
So please, now we can go ahead for some questions. So we will take some questions.
All right.
Yeah, sure. So there will be some exciting offers which we'll be announcing during this question and answer hours.
What's your...
You can go ahead for the questions. Yes, please. I think we are receiving some questions. Yes, please.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I want to. Yes. The BIM modeling. Is it the same as the drawing of the buildings, or is different from the drawing? Maybe it's like just adding something to the drawing.
So, perform
I'm fine, good morning. Hey.
Hello.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Everybody is doing well. I'm good. I'm fine. I was trying to reach it. It looks the funny stuff. Yes. Oh, okay.
So when?
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we prefer you should type your question.
Okay.
Right,
We
that's
understand your question. We will give you an answer.
my greeting to the family. You too. Hey. Bye.
Hello. Please, the time is open up for the questions. Mr. Varun, I guess we have a question from Mr. Varun.
I want to know the duration of the BIM modeling course.
Sure, sir. So the duration will be 1 month, 30 working days. You can finish the course in 30 working days.
Okay. The online, is there online?
Yes, sir. We have online session. We have direct training also. So at the moment, we are providing 20% discount. Yeah. So the people who are participated in the program, so we are providing 40% discount for the program. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can also visit our websites. We will share our numbers. You can call us so that we can give more information about it. Yeah. So we are at Atiko Junction, Kanisimalam Highway.
Okay.
Yes, please. You can
the
go
online. The online, is it going to be video tutorials or it's going to be YouTube or Zoom?
No. It's going to be like live interaction training, like what we are doing the same way. It's a live interaction training. Yeah. Sure. The discount is 40%. Mr. Akumo Paul, the discount is 40% since you are participated in this program. So you have 40% discount.
Okay. That's great to hear.
Sure. I think we received a question from Mr. Varun. Are you there? Okay, fine. Please, is there any other questions regarding BIM? Yes, please.
My name is Yusuf, and my question is, can can I use the BIM or maybe the Revit to quantify my materials?
Yes, we can do that. We can do that. There is an option for doing schedules and material takeoff. So there are option for Revit. So we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that under the same BIM model, or there is it's a different program altogether?
Sorry?
Is that I mean, the taking off and the estimation, is it part of the the fee you are going to pay, or is a different?
Yes. It's a part.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, welcome. Please, we will take another 5 more questions. So is there any other questions, please?
Yeah. My second question is, I have seen the Revit, analysis. I don't know if you can use the Revit to do analysis, or it just how do you call it? Start Pro that you can use to do the
analysis. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think I got your question. Thank you for that. So Revit architecture can do 3D building modeling, and then it can do energy analysis. When it comes to structural analysis, we have a separate template that is a structural template. So in Revit structure, all those things you can do, like the structural analysis and design, you can do it from Revit structure. In Revit architecture, it is not possible. You can do only 3D modeling in architectural point of view, in architectural aspects.
Okay.
Yes, please. I want a few questions from BIM, from Mr. Fustus, so that he can share his experience, like regarding the BIM and regarding his seminar, his webinar. So, do you have any questions on BIM aspects? Yes, please.
Mr. Harry.
Yes, please.
Actually, the question is not for the other consultants. I wanted to know, those of us that have busy schedules, is there anything that could be arranged for us? Because most of the time, the physical presence is quite valuable.
Sure. Yeah, it can be arranged. Yeah, so we will share our number. So yeah, so we will share our number right now. So you can come for the demonstration session. Yeah, you can for free trainings, and then any other questions. We also do free trainings. So one day training.
Hello, Mr. Harry.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm Solomon. I asked the question at the chat area. I wanted to know if you are done learning all the software BIM Careers. Will there be a site to help the students or any visibility study that may help the students to make some sort of practicals to enhance the students, at least knowing this software, and then there's another practical he can go through to understand whatever he or she had learned to be able to carry things out easily.
Yeah, sure. We will do that. Definitely. Now we are doing that. That is how we are associated with CPB Service Limited, KCCA. Okay. So yeah, we can do that. So once you learn the program, we will kind of arrange an internship where you can go and you can practice what you learn, the real-time projects. Yeah. So you will get an opportunity to work with real-time projects, and then you will get an opportunity to speak with industrial experts. Yeah, so it is possible.
Thank you.
Okay, my hand is up.
Yeah, two more questions.
Yeah, Paul is
yes,
my hand is up.
Mr. Stephen? Mr. Akomo Paul, yes, please.
Yes, my hand is up. Yeah. I'm a student, right? I'm a student studying ICT, right? And then I'm interested in learning the BIM aspect of the drawing. You understand?
Sure.
How are you going to help me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please. You can go ahead.
Yeah. Since I don't have any knowledge, respect to drawing, right? With respect to using the softwares, how are you going to help me?
Sure. Oh, you can learn. You see, when it comes to civil and architectural, unless you don't touch the structural part, the architectural part you can learn. Because if you ask me this question, like since you asked me, so you see, I live in the house, so I know what is my wall, I know what is floor, I know what is roof.
Yes.
So those kind of architectural aspects, when it comes to building, you can learn these things. But when you go for structural analysis and design, that is the part where you need the technical background.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can go ahead. You can go ahead for this kind of courses. Yeah, drafting, road architecture, you can learn. But when it comes to STAT Pro or Revit structure, you need a knowledge of technical background.
Yeah. All right.
Hello.
I have a little bit knowledge of technical.
Yes,
right.
please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
This question goes to Festus. I need to know what's your assess? I mean, impact assessment when it comes to BIM and the building environment, especially when it comes to Ghana and the Sub-Saharan Africa. You know, we have a very bad communication in terms of networking and all that. So should in case you have a client outside your region, and you and I know that Sub-Sahara, we have a very bad in terms of networking. How's your assessment? Do you think we are ready? And if yes, how long? Do you think maybe 10 years time or 5 years time we'll be there? Because it's true, it's good, it's nice. But when the network is bad or the client or the person you are working with is having a bad connection and all that, what do you think? What's your assessment so far?
Thank you for this question. I think, this is a very important one. Well, so we as a company, especially with CPB service, our work strictly comes from Europe, you understand? And then at the moment, we only deal with the the environments of the UK, of which we are still sorting things out to go beyond the boundaries of UK and then enter other parts of Europe, and also to even extend it to the US. Now, when it comes to Africa, as you said, I didn't know this technology until I was in Europe, you understand? But everything that I have seen in Europe, some way or the other, you see the things going on there, and then you wish that you could have some in your motherland or your continent. So with what the future holds when it comes to recap and then networking, especially with the Sub-Saharan.
Hello. Yeah, Francis.
Hello.
Go ahead, I'm listening. Festus, I'm listening.
My friend Evans has got someone on can oh, why some Francis, on your side, Maka Evans on and got someone in.
Harry, I think.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Harry, I think if you could mute those who aren't active at the moment, that would help us, because it's kind of interfering with the conversation we are having. So back to the person who asked the question. As I said, for now, we have no idea what Hello. All right. Okay. Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Yeah. So, sir, the one who asked the question, that is the dream. That is the dream, to bring whatever we have over there to this part of our world. We are not looking at anybody to start before we start. We want to start the execution so that we could have people rather joining us. So though it looks like it's going to be a long-term thing, but I believe that it is going to happen. With the duration, I can't give, the specific years ahead, but I know it is going to happen. But as you said, in the next 5-10 years, I'm not sure it's going to exceed that 10 years. But let's be hopeful from now to the next 5 years. All the things that we've put in the pipeline, we are only hopeful that we can execute them. And then, as I said, we are not looking at any organization, not the government or whatsoever. We are looking at ourselves to make that change, to make that impact to the people and then the environment in which we live in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It's look like we have covered all of your questions. If your questions wasn't answered during this event, you can always come us. Okay, there is a question, huh? Okay, so Mr. Paul, and the BIM software helped me to do a full architecture drawing. Mr. Karthik? I think Mr. Karthik can answer this question. It's look like we have covered all of your questions. If your questions wasn't answered during this event, you can always come us. Okay, there is a question, huh? Okay, so Mr. Paul, and the BIM software helped me to do a full architecture drawing. Mr. Karthik?
Yes, Hari, I'm here.
Yes, please. I think Mr. Karthik can answer this question.
Okay, am I audible? First of all, Hari?
Yes, please. You're audible. It's look like we have covered all of the questions.
Am I?
If your questions wasn't answered during this event, you can always come us. There's a question. Mr. Paul, in the BIM software helped me to do a full architecture drawing.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is,
yes, please.
Initially the first question was somebody asking me, will I get the software along with the course? So what I was saying is, like, the software we will not be able to provide. Okay, if you are looking for a licensed, commercial licensed software, we don't provide. If you are looking for an educational version, you can get it online by your own. Okay, Autodesk and Bentley, they all provide the trial period for students. To answer the second question from Mr. Akoma Paul, can the BIM software help me to do a full architecture drawing? Yes, you can. Okay, actually, I told you before, just to clarify you again, BIM is not a software. It is a concept in which everybody works together. So it is a complete, let's say, for example, you want to design a particular window. Okay, for example, you want to design a particular window. You have to know the dimension of the window. You have to know which material you're going to use. You have to know what designs you're going to use, and what are the latches you're going to put it over there. Is it going to be what material, steel or UPVC windows or wooden window? And who's going to make it? Where can you get this particular material? what finishes will you have on the material. So all these things, all these informations you put up together, okay? You put up all these information together. That is called as a building information model, okay? So when you take a particular building, that particular building can be modeled in a Revit architecture. It can be modeled in any Bentley software like Lumion. It can be modeled in Autodesk software like 3ds Max. And in that particular model, you have to come up with your own plan. Let's say 2D drawings, 2D plan drawings that can be done in AutoCAD 2D. So it's different software platforms which will help you to get a complete architecture modeling with the building information. So apart from architecture, the next question is, apart from architecture, does the BIM software help one to design water systems? For water systems, you have separate softwares called as water gems and sewer gems. Those are two different things, because there is one particular university, which college I saw in Ghana, the KANUST, no, not KANUST, ISWAM, African Institute of Sanitary and Waste Management System. So there we use these kind of things, okay? So there are different softwares for this. As I told, what we are talking right now is not just on buildings alone. We are talking purely about building information modeling. That building, it can be a sewer, that building can be a bridge, highway bridge, that building can be a power plant, that building can be a whole town planning, okay? Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, yes, please.
If you have any questions, please type down in the chat. But Hari, I want you to take it forward. I think we are getting delayed on the timing.
So I think we have covered all the questions. So finally, thank you so much for attending this webinar. We hope you have learned the major features of BIM. So also we highly appreciate your presence here. It was a pleasure being with you today. Also, we will share the slides with everyone through the mail. So you can also pass it to your colleagues who are all interested in this thing. So please do share your feedback. Yeah, so also kindly visit us dit.edu.gh for more information. dit.edu.gh. So that is our website. You can visit us for more information. And then our CAD Center Global website is www.cadcenterglobal.com. So we will share those websites in the chat box right now. You can visit those websites for more questions and more information. And then also we shared our number, I guess. So you can call us for more information. As I mentioned, there is a discount for the people who are attended the program. So we are providing 40% discount. So actually the price of the software is 2,400 cedis. So we are giving 40% discount from it. That's almost, you will get a discount of 1,000 cedis almost. So it's nearly 1,000 cedis, not exactly 1,000 cedis. So you can use the opportunity to learn this program. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Karthik, once again. Thank you so much, Mr. Festus. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. So we will be doing another seminar in next week. So kindly visit our websites for more information. Thank you so much.